some changes out there for the New York Islanders. Pat Price is not dressing, and Hector Marini, who played with Fort Worth in the Central Hockey League, will be dressing. And if you recall, not too long ago, the Islanders are having a problem, and they put in two players. One of them was Marini, the other was Yvonne Vautour, when the Islanders played up in Minnesota, and I think the North Stars still went on to win that hockey game. But Al Armour using 5 defensemen tonight, not going with 6. His bench, Pat Price, has not. Bert Marshall hasn't dressed the entire series, is not dressing. Eddie Westfall evidently has not recovered from his ankle injury, and they are dressing Hector Marini, a left winger who played with Fort Worth.
All right, the officials tonight, as I said, the referee, Wally Harris, the linesman, Ray Scapanello, and Leon Stickle. And those of you who have tuned to us on a regular basis know that Wally Harris is not a favorite of Red Light Messina.
Wally seems to skate around in the fog most of the time. However, this is his type of a series where you don't call anything in the third period, which Wally, he believes in that sometimes throughout a hockey game. And I just feel that way in looking at Wally Harris. He is not in the top 5, Marv. I mentioned the top 5 the other day.
10, and you said
oh, I don't know. Are there 10? I think there are 12. Or 12 or 13.
Does he make your top 12, sir?
I don't know. I haven't really narrowed it down that fine, Marv. Wally Harris, to me, is a referee. He wears a striped shirt.
Oh, Sal, brutal. No, you said the other day when I asked you about Dave Newell, and you said, well, he'd be top 5.
Dave's a good referee. I think he's a good referee, and I think the way the referees have handled the entire playoffs, especially the third periods, they could call a penalty almost every minute if you want to. And a perfect case in point was a game 4 here. Clark Gillies, Dave Maloney did everything that you could possibly do to one another in front of the Ranger net while the Islanders had the puck in the Ranger zone. And the referee, I believe it was Brian Lewis in that game, did not call a penalty, and his reasoning was if he called a penalty, it would be 4-on-4. He'd have to give a penalty to both players. If he didn't call a penalty, it would be 5-on-5. And that's the way hockey should be played. And that's the reason why he did not call a penalty to both players. As long as it does not get out of hand. As long as somebody doesn't hit somebody over the head with a stick or cross-check somebody violently into the boards, head high, or slash at somebody with a little vehemence to it. I don't think the referees will call a penalty in a tight game late in the game.
Sal, apparently we are having some problems with the ice. There was a later circus performance here at Madison Square Garden this afternoon. And let's see, checking the time, it is just about 8:35, which was to be near face-off time, but the officials have not hit. So I would say we're a good 5 minutes away, but with the singing of the national anthem. Right down below, and they are hearing a standing ovation from the capacity crowd as they hit the ice, led by goaltender John Davidson. An ovation for the Rangers as they step on, and they will be defending the goal 2 hour left in this first period with the Islanders to defend 2 hour right. Standing ovation for the New York Rangers. And right here, let's pause for this message.
This is Sal Marciano. The exciting Stanley Cup Semifinal between the Islanders and Rangers is a Big Apple heckle. On Friday night, I'll host a half-hour television special called New York on Ice. See the highlights. Hear your favorite players like Phil Esposito.
Everybody in this room believes that we can win. And that's what it's all about.
And Bobby Nystrom.
We're coming on, and hopefully the votes will start going our way, and we will come out and win the game.
Watch New York on Ice, Friday at 7:30 on Channel 2.
WCBS TV.
Sal, we're very impactful, as you can tell. If they can sell the time, they'll sell it anywhere, you know. Well, I understand Sal has a nice show prepared for Friday night, on a serious note. All right, here are the Islanders. Defending the goal to our right. In this first period, the Islanders, of course, dressed in blue and trimmed with white and red. And the New York Rangers in their home uniform of white trimmed with blue and red. Rangers coming off the 4-3 victory over the Islanders Saturday night at the Nassau Coliseum on the goal by Anders Hedberg with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the game. Once again, a come from behind by the Rangers, who came back particularly from that disputed goal call and able to take the lead. The Islanders then tied it on the goal by Nystrom, who's had an excellent series, and then the goal by Hedberg to win it for the Rangers. And the other question, as we hear the chant of J.D. For John Davidson, the other major stumbling block for the Islanders has been the power play. The figures right now 0 for 19, which is unbelievable when you consider this the team that had the most effective power play in the National Hockey League, converting better than 30% over the regular season.
Well, I think the Islanders are starting to get a little tentative, and maybe not starting, have been very tentative over the last couple of games, and the Rangers have done just an outstanding job when the Islanders have had the power play. Many combinations, but of course the most important guy for the Rangers in killing off those power plays by the Islanders has been Walla Tkachuk. Carl Vadnais has been out there on defense in most instances when the Islanders have had the power play, and Carl Vadnais has blocked many shots, and of course the big guy in goal, John Davidson, has been just tremendous.
All right, the Rangers and Islanders now lining up at their respective blue lines. And in this first period, it will be Chico Rash to our right and John Davidson to our left. And right here, the singing of our national anthem. From the American Opera, here is Ron Raines.
By welcoming Mr. Ron Raines singing our national anthem this evening with the accompanying of the organ by Tony Wright. Mr. Ronald Raines.
Singing our national anthem, hearing it from the crowd, and we're set for hockey as Wally Harris looks to get the attention of the two clubs. For the Rangers, a 3-2 edge in this best of 7. They win tonight. They go on to the Stanley Cup Final to play the winner of the Montreal-Boston series, and that game, incidentally, up in Boston, a 2-2 tie in the first period. If the Islanders win tonight, it means a game number 7 back at the Nassau Coliseum on Thursday. In effect, the season is on the line right here for the New York Islanders. And Al Arbor opens up with Wayne Merrick at center, Bobby Bourne and Bob Maestrom on the wings. Phil Esposito with Don Maloney and Don Murdoch. And the Islander line. It's Henning. Ready to go. Pearson back forward, whips it ahead for Trache, so the Islanders get up quickly. He's in across the Ranger line, breaks one on pressure, cuts side of the net, moves behind the goal, where he's hit by Vadnais, who ties him up, and Vadnais takes it away, looks to clear, cannot, kept it by Potvin at the point. Cross ice, Pearson has the shot, he shoots, it is deflected loose, and Bossy scores! Mike Bossy has finally scored a goal, and the Islanders lead it 1-0.
Well, the good play by Dennis Potvin on the left point, getting it across to Stefan Pearson. Pearson taking the shot. John Davidson made the save. Pierre Plante almost on top of Potvin for the steal. The shot going through. Brian Trottier deflected it on the way in and went right over to the left wing position where Bossy backhanded it. John Davidson got a little piece of it off his chest, and it went into the cage.
Mike Bossy, who scored 69 goals during the regular season and opened up on fire in the series against Chicago, had been blanked by the Rangers right throughout. He'll start at a fair play goal to give the Islanders a 1-0 lead. Face off at center. Sheehan and Kazicki on the draw. Hart takes off the draw, feeds ahead for Kazicki, being watched by Sheehan. And right here, we're going to tell you the
Back in, he tried it out a couple of times. It's just getting in.
Look at good line. Kachuk centering for Vickers and Hedberg. While the Islanders back to the Trottier, Gillies, Hussey front line. Maloney and Vadnais back for the Rangers. And Lorimer and Potvin on the back line for the Islanders. Here's the face. Outside the out of the line, and they control. Potvin rolls it cross ice for Lorimer. The return for Potvin. Nice move on Kachuk. Throws it ahead. Plays his own pass, but Kachuk hangs right with him, and Potvin has to cut back the other way. Then feeds to center to Lorimer, leads Trottier, and he rolls in. Right side of Davidson. Gillies and Hedberg chase down. Hedberg takes Gillies to the boards. It's loose in the corner, and then it's pinned. Combination of Hedberg and Gillies with Vadnais. Passing it. And with 1:05 left in the period, face off to the right of Davidson.
Boston Bruins leading the Montreal Canadiens at the end of the second period by a score of 3-2. And talking about the Islanders clearing well in front, Marv, the winning goal by Anders Hedberg the other night, taking a look at some replays since then, showed 5 Islander players all around Chico Resch, and not one of them playing a Ranger body in front of the net.
Resch has been mentioning that has been their major problem. They have been out of position on many of the Ranger goals, and that was certainly the case on the game winner on Saturday. Off the face, Vadnais moves it on the boards, led by Bourne with a minute remaining now in the period, and feeds ahead for Maloney. Maloney from center slaps one left side of Resch, takes a tricky hop as Hedberg and Lewis ram each other, and the Islanders able to clear out. Maloney takes it center, leads Kachuk in across the Islander line, but it's slapped away by Pearson onto the stick of Bourne. Here's Bourne. Up to center, makes his move to the Ranger line, breaks wide on Vadnais, puts in front, but it's knocked aside by the Ranger defenseman. Only getting a piece, clearing it, but it's stopped by Lewis from the point. A shot goes wide, bounce behind the net. Nystrom chasing, but he's beaten to it by Vadnais, who shoots one all the way down. Some sloppy play on the Ranger end, and it nearly cost. Back is Pearson to touch, and we get an icing call with 20 seconds remaining on the first period.
Rangers saw the wings covered up, tried to come out towards the center, intercepted by Merrick, and Islanders almost come up with a goal. Bobby Nystrom just about a stride too late as the puck came out the other side. John Davidson not suspecting the puck to come out free and nobody beyond. Nystrom was pushed a little bit, and Cal Vadnais, the smart play, just shot the puck down ice for icing.
And we get a face-off deep in the Ranger zone. It'll be Wayne Merrick for the Islanders, Phil Esposito for the Rangers. 20 seconds left in the period. Islanders with a 1-0 lead. Scapanello leans in. Both Merrick and Esposito jump in too quickly. So they will do it again. Off the draw comes to Nystrom in the slot. He's bottled up and recovers. Loses on a poke check, and Murdoch takes away. To center with Maloney left. Shoots one in. Right side of Resch. Maloney chasing down with Pearson with 10 seconds. Maloney whips it around for Esposito. Trying to throw out to the point for Greshner, but it's off the mark. And it carries all the way down, and that will do it for the period. At the end of one, in a hard-hitting first period here at the Garden, it's the New York Islanders 1, and the New York Rangers 0. We'll be back in a moment.
New York Islanders by a score of 1-0. Official shots on goal in that opening period had the Islanders taking 10, the Rangers taking 9. Mike Bossy breaking the schneid, scoring his 6th goal of the playoffs. First goal against the New York Rangers, and this is the 6th game of the series between these two clubs, assisted by Trottier and Pearson at 8:56. Trottier deflecting that shot in towards John Davidson. Davidson making the save, and Bossy picking up the rebound and putting it by John Davidson. The Islanders coming out much more aggressive in this opening period tonight than they have played in the past. Up in Boston, the Boston Bruins leading the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 3-2. All the talk after Game 5 has been the ineffectiveness of Trottier and Bossy. Clark Gillies, the leader on the ice for the Islanders tonight, throwing his body, using his weight to advantage, and I think it sparked the entire Islander club because they all have played the body much better in this game than they have in the previous 5. However, Al Arbor not keeping the line intact throughout the first period. He had long innings skating between Bossy and Gillies at times during that first period. Trottier skating between Howitt and Hector Marini, which was a surprise move by the New York Islanders. Hector Marini played in Fort Worth, spent 2 years in the Islander system, and called up for at least one prior game this season. And I believe that game was in Minnesota. Rangers will be skating from right to left. John Davidson in the goal to our right. Chico Resch, the goal to our left. Both teams at full strength. And we're getting ready to start period number 2. And here's Marvelous.
All right, Sal, and it will be John Davidson defending the goal to our right. And Chico Resch to our left. As Wally Harris gets set to drop it between Ted Esposito and Wayne Merrick. Espo centering with Murdoch right, Maloney left. And Merrick the center for Nystrom and Bourne. Off the face, comes back to the Islander line. Lorimer.
In the first period is resumed. Inflicted on the Islanders in the first 5 minutes of this period. They've had 2 good shots on goal. Donnie Murdoch made a beautiful move on Dennis Potvin to go around him and take that good shot on Chico Resch, and Resch made the save on his panther. But then the Islanders took control for the first 3 or 4 minutes, while up until this last line shift, Bobby Sheehan, Raju Gate, Pat Hickey using their speed and brawn behind the Islander cage.
Esposito is out with Maloney and Murdoch. Later word from Boston, the Bruins now lead Montreal 4-2 in the third. Looking to make it a 7th and final game in Montreal on Thursday. So the Bruins come back. They lost the first 2 of the series in Montreal, won the next 2 in Boston. Off the face, comes to the point. Marois shot, knocked down, rebound Murdoch, and Cody shoots, he scores! And we're tied at 1.
Donnie had a lot of time for that rebound, and he looked as if he had Resch beaten on the first attempt. However, he didn't take the backhand, and Resch got back in position, but Don Murdoch sort of pirouetted. There was a beautiful play by Murdoch. He won that face-off, got it out to Marois, who took a beautiful low shot on Resch, and Resch took control of the rebound, and Murdoch went right for the net after he made the pass back, picked up the rebound, turned around, and put it on the ice to the short side to tie up this hockey game. Don Murdoch, not the center iceman, winning the face-off. Don Murdoch jumping on that puck in front of Chico Resch. And once again, Mario Marois, a quick release on that shot from the right point. He was under pressure. He got it off a wrist shot, but it was low. Hard for Resch to handle the rebound, and the Rangers have tied this hockey game.
Standing ovation from this capacity crowd, plus some confetti tossed out of the ice. Carl Martin tries to force the announcement through the crowd. Don Murdoch with the backhander to beat Resch to tie it at 1. 5:03 of the time of the goal. Mario Marois the assist. And for Don Murdoch, who has had an excellent playoff, his 6th goal of the playoffs.
Donnie Murdoch, who had a slow start after coming back from that suspension he received for the first half of the season, has played more of a 2-way game for the last half of the season and these playoffs.
All right, the crowd urging the Rangers on as they and the Rangers are at 13 minutes and 14 seconds.
Second power play of the game for the Rangers, and it looked as though Potvin and Lorimer finally had Ron Greshner stopped, and he pirouetted, just turned around, put the puck along the ice, intended for Steve Vickers, and I think Dennis Potvin got his stick on it to deflect it as Lorimer dropped Greshner in front of the net. Rangers, meanwhile, Islanders now 1 for 20 on the power play. Rangers 2 for 17 up to this second power play of the game for the Rangers.
Bob Lorimer goes off for 2 minutes for holding at 7:33. Rangers sending on Esposito with Murdoch and Maloney. And McEwen and Greshner back at the points. For the Islanders, the face-off, he is heading up front, and Potvin and Hart on the back line. Face-off to the right. And the Islander net, 12:27 left, second period. off the draw. It's cleared by Hart, but it carries to the Ranger bench, so they'll do it again.
I wonder what a goaltender keeps his glove on when he's not playing. Doug Sotot making the save on the bench. Doug Sotot, the backup goaltender tonight for the New York Rangers, as the Islanders try to clear.
Again, Esposito and Bourne. It's bounced in front. Potvin clears it aside, and Henning is able to shoot it all the way down. So the Rangers have to set up on this power play. Mauer collects, moves behind his goal, watched by Bourne. Rangers have the man advantage. We're tied at 1. McEwen starts up, met by the close checking of Henning, turns back, and then leads Don Maloney at center. Moving on Hart across the Islander line. They come together. Drop pass intended for McEwen, broken up by Henning, who's able to clear down. 30 seconds gone by on the Lorimer penalty. And Mauer back at his own end. Mauer loses in front for Bourne, but it's recovered by McEwen, who accelerates on Henning and moves to center. He's tied up. He's turned around. He's stopped, but still in possession. A lead for Mauer. Throws on the left wing for Maloney and across the out of the line. He's hit to the boards by Hart, looking for some help. Feeds Esposito back behind the net. Espo then throws it around for Greshner, top of the circle. Back for Espo in the corner, skips off his stick. It's loose. Esposito is on it, stick handles. Looking now for the open man at the point. That changes his mind. Feeds Maloney in the corner. Now Maloney brings it out. Sends out for Greshner for the point. A shot. Score! It's tipped in from the front. A power play goal. And the Rangers lead it 2-1.
Bill Esposito, Don Murdoch, Don Maloney doing an excellent job working the puck around. Finally working it. Esposito looking in, but giving it back out to the left point to Greshner, who was more or less drifting into the center as he took the shot, and he let it go. Greshner coming into this series, Marv, with more shots on goal in the series than any other player. Had 17 shots on goal. Greshner let it go. A good, low, hard shot. I don't know if it deflected off Esposito or not. Somebody got a piece of it, whether it be Resch or Esposito. But some tremendous work by the Rangers in not forcing the pass. They waited for the open man. They had the extra man out on the ice. It ended up to be Ron Greshner, 50 feet out, directly in front of goaltender Glenn Resch.
Bill Esposito on the deflection, and the Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Off the face-off at center. Vadnais spinning on Kazicki to the red line, and then looks to lead Sheehan. It's knocked away, and Sheehan waits for teammates to move onside and loses control. It's taken by Tonelli. His cross-ice pass broken up, and Hickey bounces. Did not see the play. And the face-off will take place outside the Islander line. Kachuk will go against Trottier on the face-off. Crowd chanting cheap shot Potvin. That's a new chant. Off the face, it's sent down across the Ranger line, and that's the end of the second term. Dennis Potvin hearing it as he heads off. The score after 2, and wait a moment, Islander and Ranger players coming together at center ice. Pierre Plot. Clark Gillies having words. Phil Esposito looking to get players off the ice. Lucian Dedlow over to have some words with Dennis Potvin. And the Islanders hearing it as they leave. John Davidson involved. And now both clubs are making their way to their locker room. So at the end of 2, it's the Rangers leading the Islanders 2-1. We'll be back in a moment. To our left, and you have to figure, Sal, that the Islanders will come out flying.
And Bob looking at that bench, no sign of Wayne Merrick, who was injured, and the Islanders have to come out flying, no doubt about it. And they have to gamble early. I would think they're going to hold off and not gamble until, if they're still losing, say in the second half of this third period, or still trailing. Islanders have gone into the third period down 2-1 twice before out at the Coliseum, coming back to win one game in overtime. But then in Game 5, Rangers hold right now. Marini having a couple of words with Dave Maloney, Anders Hedberg, and Steve Vickers getting to the puck at the rear of the blue line, making some good passes, but I think Hedberg took the stride a little too far for Steve Vickers, and Steve didn't give the puck away when he got it behind the cage. He held on and threw it back to Dave Maloney at the left point, and Maloney did not force that shot out from that point. Islander player coming right on him. He went to the corner with it. Did not take the shot where it could have ricocheted off Hector Marini's skates and out into the neutral zone for a breakaway. Instead went deep with it. Marini taking them down, and Maloney and Marini going into the boards to draw that face-off. Ranger checking excellent in this period, as it's been throughout the series. Ranger team every bit, Marv, in this playoff series, the equal to the New York Islanders, if not the edge to the New York Rangers in 6 consecutive hockey games, and that's quite a feat.
Face-off will take place deep in the Islanders zone. Right here, though, let's pause for station identification.
If you're going to get out of bed in the morning, get out of bed with me, Ted Brown, 6 to 10 every morning on WNEW, Monday through Friday. WNEW, Metro Media Radio in New York.
All right, the flaky one. I'm sure Teddy's up listening and perhaps checking out the cable cast, looking for steel lines from you, Sal. Bourne and Johnstone on the face to the right of Resch. Set back behind the Islander man. Larmer and Johnstone bump one another. Then Plot picks up the loose puck, moves to the circle. He's pushed off the puck by Larmer. And Larmer able to clear out for Howard at center. Throws one down. Bourne chasing across the range of arm of Greshner. Graham takes, puts in front for Nystrom, but it's knocked away. He took a bump from Johnstone. Nystrom gets it out to Potvin, who's spun around by Deblois, allowing Greshner to take. Feeds Deblois in across the Islander line. He's stopped by Potvin, but dumps it back behind the Islander goal line. Johnstone is there, refuses to give up the puck as he's hit once and then twice, and then rolls it out to the point for Greshner. Dumps behind the goal. Deblois there, looks to feet, Plot in front, it's knocked away, kept in by Johnstone. Then he loses on a stick check to Howard. Moving down on Vadnais, across the Ranger line, a drop for Nystrom, and Iverson kicks serve, Davidson a big save. Vadnais
Hit the shot. Davidson with the rebound right at feet. Now, JD a little fooled on that shot, but quarterback was able to clear from in front of his net very well. Was
Fakers who obviously are frustrated, particularly chippy for Howard and Potvin. No penalties will be called, which has been the trend right throughout this playoff series in the third period. And it appears that things have settled down now. We have 3:15 left, third period. Rangers looking to hold on to a 2-1 lead, looking to wrap up this series in 6, which would mean valuable days of rest if they're able to hold on, because Montreal and Boston will go to a 7th and final game on Thursday in Montreal. Kachuk and Trottier now facing at center ice. Off the draw. It is sent back to the Islander blue line. Pearson checked by Kachuk. Cross ice for Lewis. Rushes it up. He's to the Ranger line. Cuts to the right side. Breaks to the far board. Backhands in front, but it's broken up by Vadnais. Clears it around. Kept in at the point by Pearson. Dumps it along the boards, but Vickers beats Bossy to it. Can't clear out. Sent back the other way by Pearson. Played behind the Ranger goal line by Vadnais. Now Vadnais turns. Backhand stolen by Gillies. Gillies, though, had the stick over the shoulder as he made contact, and the play is blown dead. 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in this third period.
Rangers very careful in getting the puck out of their end, but the Islanders, Stefan Pearson making 2 excellent plays at the right point position in order to keep the puck in and force the Rangers, put a little more pressure on them. Coach Al Arbor taking off the Trottier line, Marv. I think he wants him out there for the last flurry if he has to have it.
All right, the face-off coming up outside the Ranger line. He's going with Kazicki, Harris, and Tonelli up front, while the Rangers have Sheehan with Duguay and Hickey on the wings. Off the face, comes out to the red line. And it's taken by Duguay. Brings it across the out of the line. A shot steered aside by Resch, and then has to cover up with Hickey moving in front. And we get a wrestler. Face off to take place deep. And the Islanders are 2:36 left. Third period. And a big Kazuki. And the face-off. Rangers with a 2-1 lead on goals by Murdoch and Kreshner. It was Bossy on a power play goal in the first period. Puck is dropped, sent to the far corner. Hickey rolls it around. Harris and Sheehan now come together. They bump one another, and Pearson ends up with the loose puck. Sends around for Lewis. A pass on the left wing for Tonelli at center. Up for Kazuki and across the Ranger line. Leads Tonelli. A bouncing shot is gloved by Davidson. Diving to his left. Cutter hands on. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, third period.
Mike Kazuki, the man again, making a good pass to Tonelli. Tonelli couldn't get off a good shot. In fact, he sort of faked out John Davidson. Tonelli taking it with 2 players between him and the cage. John Davidson, a low shot to the stick side, Marv, had to reach over and make a catch, which were very unorthodox, but because of the shot, had to do it.
Again, it'll be Kazuki and Duguay on the face-off. Rangers doing some shuffling. Kreshner comes out, replacing McEwen. Duguay is on with Sheehan and Hickey and Mawa, and Kreshner on the back line. Kazuki line remains. Harris, Tonelli on the wings. Potvin and Lorimer are back. The crowd chanting away. 2:18 left. Face-off, deep in the Rangers zone. Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Off the draw, Mawa takes behind his net. Winds it around. Sheehan after with Lorimer. They come together. Then Kreshner over to work free and swings it around for Duguay. Duguay carries out to center. Leads Sheehan. He's in across the out of the line. Then fans on the shot as he's hit from behind by Lorimer. Good play by Lorimer, getting back. And Potvin clears out of the zone with 1:55 left. Tonelli at center. Hacked up by Hickey. Brings it across the Ranger line, but loses on a stick check to Kreshner. Kreshner up for Duguay. Moving on the right side of the out of the line with a bullet shot that is gloved by goaltender Resch. Drops it off for Lorimer, who winds it around. Islanders will be looking to pull Resch, but they can't get out of their zone. Kachuk steals from Harris and dumps behind Resch. 1:35 left. Lorimer whips it around for Potvin. Up for Harris at center. Leads Gillies, makes the turn to the Ranger line. Cuts to the near boards on Vadnais, then sends back behind the goal line. Vadnais gets back for it. Vadnais then loops one out to center. Resch started to go halfway, has to pull back. Pearson chases down. 1:15 to go. Pearson up for Trottier. Moving with Bossy right, Gillies left. Trottier shoots in. Right side of Davidson. Hedberg beats Gillies to it. Cuts to the near corner. He's tied up there, able to swing it around the boards, and Kachuk gets it out at center. Then he's tied up along the boards. Gillies over. Hedberg pushes it aside. A minute remaining. It's still loose. Hedberg works it free. Hedberg cuts in. Hedberg with a beautiful move on Pearson. Drops for Vickers. A shot. Save made by Resch. Vickers on the rebound. Puts in front for Hedberg. Knocked away by Resch. Holding it side of the net. Swings it around to Lewis. 45 seconds to go. As the Islanders now get the goaltender out. Resch departs. Trottier to center. Trottier beneath the basement. 3 minutes in. Basement puts to the crease. Still there. You know nothing will be called. Winds it around to Kachuk. Empty net. Kachuk throws out to center. He's tied up by Pearson. Drops it off for Trottier. Trottier is just being held by Kachuk as he shoots in. Left side of Davidson. 20 seconds to go. Vadnais is back for it. Lifts it ahead, but it lands in the crowd. That is not what he intended to do. And that will stop play with 17 seconds remaining. The Rangers 17 seconds away from going to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time since 72-73. Doing it in Cinderella fashion with the victory over the Philadelphia Flyers in 5, and right here looking to beat the Islanders in 6.
Carl Vadnais had that puck in the left corner and really could not go the other way and did not want to give that puck away. He gambled on the face-off, threw that puck high along the boards. It went into the crowd directly off his stick. And Walter Kachuk a little upset that puck didn't get out of the zone. He did an excellent job along with Anders Hedberg. Now, who called the timeout? Al Harbour, I believe, made the timeout call, but that's also going to give the Rangers an opportunity to get who they want out on the ice. Donnie Murdoch, I see on the ice right now. Fred Shero, I'm sure, is going to have 2 center icemen out there. Probably Walter Kachuk, and we'll have to see who else he chooses to go out in this situation.
Face-off coming up to the left of John Davidson. And Trottier. Back on with Gillies and Bossy. Nystrom, Potvin, and Bourne. The chant of JD from the crowd. 17 seconds remaining. Rangers looking to wrap the Islanders in 6. They lead it 2-1. They are still attempting to get this face-off going. Wally Harris over at the Ranger bench tells Shearer to put players on. And now he's sending out Duguay with Hedberg and Tkachuk. Maloney and Vadnais on the back line.
The big play for the Rangers, of course, get the puck behind their net, along the boards, and every man has an assignment. They're discussing it right now. Islanders, of course, want to win that face-off, get it back to themselves into any position. Bobby Bourne, who has the speed maybe to go after a puck. Wally Harris now sending Wallach Tkachuk back into the face-off position, and Bobby Bourne, the man who the Islanders hope to get the puck to, either he or Dennis Potvin.
All right, Tkachuk and Trottier getting set. The linesman, Leon Sticko, leans in. Puck is dropped. Rangers control it. Maloney taken to the boards for a briefly. Maloney kicks it to the far side. Worked free by Gillies. Nystrom stationed in front. Pass out for Potvin. Throws to the corner to Trottier. 3 seconds. Trottier cross ice. Left away by Tkachuk. And that is it. The New York Rangers have defeated the New York Islanders by the score of 2-1. They have come up with the huge upset by knocking off the Islanders in 6. And it is Christmas Eve here at Madison Square Garden. Rangers on the ice congratulating one another. They could have a problem with fans here. The photographers and TV cameramen have just stepped on. And the Islanders and the Rangers now will go through the traditional handshaking ceremony. The New York Rangers receiving a standing ovation. They have knocked off the Islanders. And now, led by Walter Tkachuk, shakes hands with Lauren Henning. Here is the traditional handshaking as the Islanders have been knocked out of it. The team that led the National Hockey League with most points during the course of the regular season, upset by the New York Rangers. Phil Esposito puts an arm around Mike Bossy as they shake hands. Always a bizarre scene. Here you have a guy like Dennis Potvin and Gary Howard who were involved in many skirmishes right throughout the series, and now they're just shaking it off and shaking hands. The handshaking continues. Phil Esposito motioning to the crowd. It is on to the Stanley Cup Final. The Rangers will get several days of rest. The opening game will take place on Saturday night, either in Boston or in Montreal, depending on what happens Thursday night in Montreal, game number 7. A delirious group of New York Rangers. And the chant of JD for John Davidson as he motions to the crowd. Rangers hugging one another. Davidson heading off. Heading back to the locker room. You think the club had won the Stanley Cup. But a very fair moment here for the New York Rangers to do it, particularly against their rivals from Long Island. And now all the Rangers and Islanders have made their way back to the locker room. The final score again, the New York Rangers 2 and the New York Islanders 1. The Rangers completing the enormous surprise by taking the series in 6. And it's on to the Stanley Cup Final in a season that I guess when we look back during the summer months, perhaps we'll be able to figure it out. The turn this club has taken over the course of the playoffs, starting with the sweep of the Los Angeles Kings, moving on to the series against Philadelphia, taking the Flyers easily in 5, and then knocking off the Islanders, completely outplaying the Islanders, and beating the Islanders in 6.